I'd like to welcome you to our second annual, or this is actually our third, but second in a row now, Cape Ann League Student Athlete Leadership Summit. So before we get started with our activities, we have some dignitaries who will be speaking throughout the day, and we may have to stop what we're doing to welcome people, let them come speak to you because they have tight schedules, and we're fortunate enough to have them come here. So before we officially start our ceremony, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Newburyport, Mayor Sean Reardon.
All right, good morning. It's great to see everybody. Thank you for coming. I want to thank all our athletic directors for all they do, all of our coaches. It's great that we have this venue here at the Senior Community Center here in Newburyport to bring everyone together. I was able to come here last year as my first year as mayor, and it's great to be back this year as well. I think just being a student athlete is so important. It was such a big part of my growing up here in Newburyport. I love the subcategories here of character, leadership, diversity, and sportsmanship. I think we learned so many life lessons by participating in high school sports, and I think those lessons last you a lifetime, and I think it's a big part of why I'm in the role I'm in now here in my hometown. I also think it's important just to bring different students together from all across the district. I know you all compete hard against each other in all your respective sports, and I think what I like about today is it gives you a chance to maybe come out of your comfort zone a little bit and actually get to know some of the people that you're competing against. I think you're going to find you have a lot more things in common than you do differences, and I think that's really important, especially when you talk about diversity and working together and being part of a team. Having those attributes and having those relationship building skills, I think is important. Plus, I think a lot of you know each other anyways from club sports and everything else that you probably do in your off season. So in any case, I hope you have a really productive day. I think it's so important that you're here, so I appreciate that. Enjoy, get to know each other, have fun, and again, I hope it's a big day for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We're very fortunate here in Newburyport. Our student athletes can attest to this, that we have a mayor who's involved and interested and present and visible, not just throughout the community, but at our athletic events as well. So when you come to Newburyport, the mayor probably will be at our event. So thank you for being part of this.
I cheer too loudly for my home team.
Thank you. So congratulations for being here today. I mean, you're here for a reason. You were selected out of all the student athletes in your school, but your athletic staff, whether it's the athletic director or coaches or whoever, selected you to represent your school. So it's kind of a big deal. And there's a lot on you today. There's a responsibility that's going to be given to you, and you're going to help us formulate some things as a league. So you may hear us at times say, we are the Cal, or we're in this together, and it's hard to imagine that when we're competing throughout the season. We show up and it's us versus you mentality, right? And then it really becomes evident when the playoffs begin, and then we tend to go to our own divisions, and we might not get paired up, and we seem to be rooting for each other. And since the state rankings, the power rankings came out, we've really seen our teams advance and not butt heads as much or match up early on, and teams have really done better. So I think that new system has helped our league advance and be more competitive at the state level. So, but congratulations for being here. As we get going throughout the day, you're going to be with, probably this might be the last time you're with your classmates here, maybe during lunch. We're going to be mixing you around. You're going to be talking and participating with student athletes from other schools. And hopefully that you have a lot to offer, and you, as the mayor said, you get out of your comfort zone and you share, because this is going to be very little talking by us, and it's going to be student driven, and it's going to be all about you for the next however long we're going to do this today. So I just want to introduce a few people. Actually, the mayor talked about this a little bit: character, leadership, diversity, and sportsmanship. It's really a focus every year, but this year, we're going to continue that focus, and you're going to be part of it. Last year's group talked more maybe on the sportsmanship piece, and they put together some nice models for us to use in our own facilities, and you'll hear announcements and you'll see signage that that group created. So welcome, and you know your athletic director. I'm just going to go really quickly and just ask them to stand up. Mr. Guerin from Amesbury, Mr. Murphy from Essex Tech, Mr. Browner from Georgetown, Mr. Genualdo from Hamilton Wenham, Mr. Gallagher from Ipswich, Ms. Muzio from Linfield, Ms. Molinari from Manchester Essex, myself from Newburyport, Mr. Johnson from North Reading, Mr. Thornton from Pentucket, Mr. Parisi from Rockport, and Mr. Alberts from Triton. So this group here, you know, why is it important to see a name and a face in a school? Because those are the people that are going to welcome you when you go to their facility. When you're playing, I recognize some of you just from the short seasons we've had so far, especially when we get to the indoor season, we actually see faces a little bit more. But these are the people that you may interact with. And we could probably all share examples of maybe people from last year's summit that throughout the course of the year we interacted with, maybe more on a professional, like when you get to a game, as an athletic director at Newburyport, I actually interacted with the student leader from another school. And when you come to Newburyport, I may say, you know, who's the leader today? Who's going to be the student leader? And then you know, if you have an issue, you come see me. If I have an issue, I'll come see you. So with this role today, thank you. You have some responsibility. So we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. You're going to get a couple of little gifts as you leave. One you might appreciate more than the other, but we'll talk about that as we get going. So there will be other people that we introduce throughout the day as well. So here's our agenda for the day. We have a few activities. We have a guest speaker, and we have lunch, and then we have some fun scenarios and TV creations and interviews and things like that after that. So there may be times where your principal pops in. Principals have been invited. They may pop in and say hello. We might be in the middle of a session, and we just might call a timeout and say, hang on, and the principal might come up and say something, and then we'll go right back to work. So that's how it's going to be. This is an informal day. And like I said before, and I can't stress enough, it's student-driven, student-led, and it's going to be all you here in a few minutes. So we're going to get ready to get into our first session. I'm going to introduce Ms. Molinari from Manchester Essex.
All right, good morning, everyone. So we're going to start off with a nice icebreaker activity. Everybody's going to get up out of their chairs. We're going to play rock, paper, scissors. It's a rock, paper, scissors challenge. So I'm sure everybody knows the rules, but just as a refresher, rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, paper beats rock. Awesome. Any questions about how to play? We're doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and you're throwing out your symbol on shoot, not after. All right, everybody get up. You're going to compete against the person next to you. The winner, this is important, the loser is now cheering for the winner, and you're finding a new opponent to compete against. You guys go. Cheering for the winner.
Okay, so now you cheer for Hannah. Okay.
Let's go, Ella. Let's go, Ella.
As I mentioned, we're going to be having different people come in throughout the day and welcome us, address us. They have different various roles in their school community. And we heard from the mayor of Newburyport. Now we're fortunate enough to hear from our superintendent of Newburyport. And he is, like our mayor, at our games. So when you come to Newburyport, there's a good chance you might see the mayor at the game, the superintendent at the game as well. So I'd like to introduce Newburyport Mayor Sean Gallagher.
All right.
How you doing? I'll change that. The superintendent of schools from Newburyport.
Yeah, and mayor if you want, it all works. First of all, I just want to thank you all and thank our athletic directors and principals for bringing all of the captains together throughout the Cape Ann League. I think today's day and age, it is so important, I think, for all of us to kind of reflect what we do and how we do things, especially in a leadership role. A lot of times right now with the public discourse and politicians and the way things are, people are not treating each other with, respect and dignity. And there's a lot of future, and I love my job as superintendent working with this generation for you all to start correcting the wrongs that actually my generation, I think, is doing right now. So I think it's really important for us to all work together. I have, last year I told the story about when I was coaching, we won a state championship. I had great feedback from the Triton AD who said, just want to let you know, like, none of those kids were born then, and as I was driving in today, your parents probably weren't born then either, so I guess I'm one of those people that come in, like, oh, we're going to hear from the old guy stories, so now I'm the old guy story. But no, working in education every day, coming into work and working with you guys as student athletes and the students of this generation motivates me, because we do have hope. I just would want to pass on, just some, I guess, back in the day when I was coaching and I had captains, as a principal and a former athletic director and all of that type of stuff. It is essential, I think, of your leadership in the schools for the school year to go well. It's essential for your leadership on your teams, for your teams to do well. And it's not always, what's that? I think practice is easy. When I was coaching, everyone worked hard, everyone was doing the right thing. I used to call it yes coach, no coach syndrome. So like when coaches in your schools need leadership, it's not on the field. It's not at practice. It's outside of practice that I think is really challenging for you all. When you face different situations or you hear things that are happening on your team or you hear things that are happening in the school, I think what's good for today is you should plan ahead and just kind of reflect how you're going to deal with that. Like how you're going to deal, like if you guys, team is like 5-0 or 6-0 and then there's going to be a big party on a Friday night. And then some of your peers or some of your teammates are going to go. How do you deal with that? So those are the tough things as a student athlete that you got to deal with on a daily basis, but it's also a tough thing as a captain. Because now when you were playing, it was all about you. But now that you're playing and you're obviously some great athletes out there, now you're a captain. So now you're representing not only just you're representing your team, your school, your coaches, your community, and your family. So that's a big responsibility. And I always felt like, it was easy at practice, it was easy at the games, but we used to try to go through scenarios. Like, how are you gonna handle that? Like right now it's Thursday, you might have a game Friday night, and there's gonna be a party Saturday. Or how are you gonna handle when you're wearing your jersey in the stands and your peers are acting inappropriate? Like, those are the things, you can't deal with that by yourself. Your team and your peers and your captains on your team, you should be brainstorming those scenarios now. Because when they're happening, it's too late to figure that out. So I think for the successes that I've had, and I reflect on the teams that were very, very successful, it was really about that leadership. And it wasn't just on the captains, it was on the senior class and the upperclassmen. The last thing I just want you to also think about is this, and you'll hear this, and I think every year we say this, but you're role models for the little ones, okay? So when they go to the games with the parents and they watch you, they want to emulate you, they want to be just like you are, but also within your community, they already know who you are. So when we talk about leadership also extends when you're shopping, in the mall, or when you're going out for ice cream, or you're in McDonald's, all of those things. Those kids in your community, those little ones, are watching your actions always. So that's why before we would elect captains, we really try to explain to them the responsibility of that, because that's not for everybody. Some people just, if you're a student athlete and you're a good player, you just want to stay a good player. And sometimes we make a mistake as coaches to elevate those type of people into captaincy. And, that negative person that's a captain can just bring a whole team down. So I think it's awesome that you have some great athletic directors that are here today. You'll have some principals. But I really think you guys should brainstorm, like, what if? What are we going to do when X happens? Or talk to some of your other captains from other communities. Like, what did they do? Like, how do you prevent that when something might be going in a negative way? So I just think it's really, really important. I'm so glad. Hopefully we can be the star league throughout the Commonwealth with this training, that the fans, the stands, all of that type of stuff that you guys can assist us with. And I wish you all the best. And I'm always play hard, be super competitive, be an animal on the court, off the court, on the field. But when the game's said and done, that's when we turn back to good citizens and responsible people. So, I don't know, I'm fired up. I hope you guys have a great day. I think the best thing is you're out of school, so there's a win right there for everybody. And then I look forward to seeing you guys at the games, and I wish you all the best of luck. And as I said, when you're a student athlete, you put yourself out there, it's right there alone is courageous. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good day. That's it. All right.
So, good morning. I'm excited to be here with this group. I have the fortunate opportunity to introduce someone that wasn't up there as one of the athletic directors. That's a big part of our league and has been a big part of our league since a long time. So one of our assistants in the Cape Ann League is Mary Ryan. She's standing over there against the wall. She is coaching in her 40th season in the Cape Ann League. She's currently a Hall of Famer in Newburyport. And today, when they take the field against Pentucket, she'll be coaching in her 700th game. So she's up there with the constants that we have, like Mr. Hodson mentioned a little while ago. We're always one of the best leagues in the state, always. Like the superintendent said, we play hard, we play with class, and we do that because we're in such a good, accepting league. So when we're talking about character, there's nobody more important or exemplifies that than Coach Ryan from Rockport. So she's up there with the likes of Sawyer from Hamilton Wenham, Carey from North Reading, Pettingill from Newburyport, and Coach Hayden from Pentucket, the ones that have been around a long time. They're institutions in this league, and Coach Ryan is one of those institutions. She bleeds Cape Ann League. She does everything that we ask from the Cape Ann League, and from my standpoint, she was the former athletic director at Rockport as well. So once again, Coach Ryan, thank you. So we're going to get started here. Session 1. You're going to start off at each table by introducing yourself to each other. Get to know each other, tell what sports you guys play, any kind of interest. And then we're going to get into our first activity. And our first activity is trying to create a public service announcement that we can film, record, and send out to parents, student athletes, administration, whoever it may be, at the beginning of seasons, just to remind them of our expectations at certain sporting events. So tables 1, 2, and 3, you guys are going to be working on character, okay? Tables 4, 5, and 6, you're working on leadership. Tables 7, 8, 9, you're working on sportsmanship. And 10, 11, 12, you're working on diversity. Best of luck, get to know each other, and let's have a great day here today. Thank you.
When
move on. Okay, so that work you just did in your subgroup, you're now going to take that to a larger group. And the purpose of the next session will be coming up with the top 3 statements or bullets, however you want to put it, in your topic. So Sportsmanship will come together and share their top 3. So there may be some crossover from table to table, but you'll have a discussion amongst your now 3 groups, your larger group, to come up with what you feel is most important to you and to the league. So we are going to combine character, tables 1, 2, and 3. When I say go, you're going to go to table 1 area. So I know it's going to be kind of crowded. You can't all fit there, so you can take surrounding chairs. Leadership will go to table 5. So the leadership tables right now that are 4, 5, and 6, you go to 5. Sportsmanship will go to table 9. So anybody in table 7, 8, 9 now will go to table 9. In diversity, tables 10, 11, 12, you're going to now go to table 12. You're each take that sheet that you just worked on to this new table. When you get to the new table, you're going to have a new clean sheet, and you're going to now come up with the top 3 from those 3 tables. All set? Go.
Rewriting that, what do you think?
Then we bop down to number 2.
So your final product with your 3 statements, if you could send those up front, we're going to put them on the bottom of the screen here so everybody can see them.
Go back to the original table now, then I'll call up. Okay, you should be back at your original table now. And over the past 35 minutes or so, we've done a lot of work on a lot of different levels to come up with what you see in front of you. So these are the 4 topics, the 4 main areas that we were going to focus on today. And what we're going to do at the end of the day is create a PSA, a public service announcement, with this information that you just created. And that's something that we're going to share. Each of our schools will share with our community these bullet points in these 4 categories that we feel is important to us as a school and to us as a league. So there was a lot of work that came into the formation of these sheets, and we're going to have the groups, representatives from each group, come up and explain how they came to this conclusion and what their 3 top responses are. So if we could have the representatives from leadership come on up, please. Present up here, so the TV can hear. Whoever's speaking, come on.
Yeah. Speak from your heart. All right. You got this. Just say what it means to you to be a leader.
Alright, so as you see, we have paved the road so others can walk. Our mindset behind that was what was our mindset behind that?
Okay. Yeah. Our mindset behind that was just like being a leader so others can like follow you, and we like the leader sets the example and stuff. We have win or lose, respect the competitive, can't say the word, of your opponents. I didn't write that one, so I don't know where we got that from.
So like on the field or on the court, maybe you're maybe talking trash back and forth, which happens in competitive games. But off the field, maybe bring back a good civilian of yourself and respect the other person, individual.
You get the third.
The last one we have is to be a good communicator, you have to be a better listener, which means like when you listen, you get more information so you know more, and you become a better communicator to your team.
thank you. Next, we're going to have the representatives from Character come up and share theirs.
The first part that we had was like a rhetorical question to get people thinking, and it was, how do you respect yourself or represent yourself? And the statement above that is, and character is the way you represent yourself on and off the field. So basically, it's not just your actions when you're playing the game, it's also how you treat others in general.
The next is, character is treating everyone with respect. Do you want to be treated with respect is the rhetorical question, and you should be treating everyone on each team with respect. Like you said before, you said that there's trash talk and you want to be respectful to both sides.
A last quote is, characters is how you hold yourself and others accountable, and how you handle a situation when nobody is looking. So you want people to understand how you are on and off the field.
Okay, great job. Next is sportsmanship. Sportsmanship representatives.
We have, for the first one, being respectful on and off the playing surface. And we got to that from talking about how, like, your other side of the view and how it would make you feel if you're being trash talked. So, yeah.
So for the next one, it's supporting your team without putting the other team down. So for example, like chants, there can be some chants about the other team that are quite negative, and how would that make you feel if you were having negative chants against you? So it's more just about supporting your team and, you know, lifting your team up without putting them down.
Focusing on your own team instead of targeting the other team can make a positive environment for all the sports.
Thank you. And the last group is diversity. Diversity, come on out.
So the first point we made was that we're all in this together. Our point was that we're all different, we're all competing against each other, but we're all in the same boat. We're all practicing, working hard, competing hard. So it's important to know that while we're all different, we're against each other in the game, we're all the same as we practice.
Our second quote was that student athletes have like worked together throughout the year, and it's regardless of like your race, ethnicity, gender, or sexuality. So like you should be mindful of those and make sure you're not bringing people down based on what they look like.
Our third one was always be aware of your words and comments and commit to being respectful at all times, like on and off the field. Like always be respectful to everyone and don't like put someone down. Like you always want to bring them back up.
Okay, thank you. Really good stuff up here, and you can see there's some carryover from each category. And what we're going to do at the end, there'll be one representative from each school. Your athletic director will have a little raffle, or however they'll determine the school representative, and that one person will talk about one of these bullet points for our PSA. So, and that will come from this leadership conference. So this is a big activity, and this is what we're going to take back to our schools. This is our beliefs, and it's not ours, it's yours. And when we keep talking about we are the Cal, we all are the Cal. It's not athletic directors, coaches, athletes, it's all of us. And in addition to that, you know, you heard from the mayor of Newburyport this morning, talking about the importance of all of these, and the same with the superintendent of Newburyport. Well, we also have support from our building principals. And you may see them at your games, or they may do things behind the scenes supporting you that you're not even aware of. But us in our role appreciate what they do and making our jobs easier. But they are supportive. They're supportive of this conference, supportive of this league, trying to become better student athletes, being the model league in the MIAA. That we've heard that from multiple people. So I'm going to ask the principals to come on up here, and if they want to say a few words, but let's welcome your school principals.
I think we're all going to introduce ourselves, but I'm Andy Wolf, principal of Newburyport High School, and I'm really excited about this event and having all of you make the trek over here to Newburyport. But I would like you to just give a round of applause for your athletic directors for putting this together. I was at one of their meetings back in the spring when they were really trying to start having conversations about what we can do, and where they did do one of these events last school year, but really kind of bringing it full circle just around the ideas of sportsmanship, character, and leadership. And there are not a lot of the leagues in the MIAA that are doing something like this. So I think it says something special about the athletic directors that we have, and then the work that we're trying to do back at our schools to really convey that as you are working with your teams, but then also at the same time what happens with the fans as well. That it's a mutual respect that we have for each other, and really the work where you're going to have a great experience today with everything that you're learning, but really where this all plays out is what you do when you go back to your teams this afternoon. What conversations you have, how you lead, because it is our expectation as your principals that we really are the models for other teams across the state. That's what we want. Mr. Hodgson just alluded to that we want to be the exemplary league of the MIAA, and that really translates to your actions, especially when you're in the heat of the moment, when sometimes frustrations or whatever come to play, but it's about how you take that step back, and with what I just heard up here from your peers, you know, being respectful and keeping it clean across the fall season, the winter, and the spring. So I'm excited about this, and I'll let the other principals say a few words as well.
Hi, I'm Tricia Puglisi. I'm the principal at Linfield High School, and I think Mr. Wolf just did a great job talking about kind of purveying our opinions about this event and what a great event it is and how fortunate you are to participate here. One of the things I love post-COVID is that the fan sections are back, and the more we can keep them positive, the more fun it will be. So have a great season.
I am John Mitchell, the principal at Ipswich High School. The favorite part of my day is when I get a chance to go out to the athletic field and watching you guys compete and just play really hard. But then at the end of the game, you shake hands and talk to each other. That's what athletics is all about. It's about competing, but doing it in a friendly way. If you're here, it means that you're a leader. And most likely, you're going to find yourself, almost by accident sometimes, in leadership positions as you move into your adult life. So these lessons you learn in days like today are important to carry forward. So it's about teamwork, it's about competing hard, but always keeping in mind what other people are feeling and doing at that time and respecting that. So I'm glad to see all of you guys here, and I look forward to seeing you all on the fields of competition.
Hi
everyone, I'm Julie Scroy. I'm the new principal at Manchester Essex Regional High School. So I got to see my first home football game on Friday night, and it was great because we did win. But also it was just great to see, like Ms. Puglisi said, the fan section back and how positive it was. It was just really about being together and representing the school. And I think there's been a big change in that and seeing more fan groups getting together and just supporting their team. And that work starts here, and that work starts with all of you. And I'm really proud to be in the room with all of you, knowing that you're gonna bring all this positive energy and all this stuff you're working on back to your teams and back to your school, and that's how the culture changes. So thank you all for being here.
Good morning, I'm Danielle Ritchie. I'm principal at Amesbury High School, and I would say the Cape Ann League holds a very special place in my heart because I was once an athlete in the Cape Ann League. Where are my Triton Vikings? In the house, all right, I see a couple. I also got a chance to coach in the league with the Pentucket, now Panthers, right? And here I am wearing red at Amesbury High School, and I will tell you, none of you, I don't know if any of you in the room want to be principals or not someday, maybe yes, maybe no, but every single day in this role, I use the skills that I learned sitting in your seats as a student athlete. So whatever your goals are someday for your career, you may continue to play a sport, be involved in athletics as an adult, but I promise you that in your career, in your day-to-day life, these skills matter, and they're going to transfer into your lives as adults. So absorb as much as you can. I love seeing this group together, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brian Menegoni. I'm the principal at Hamilton Wenham Regional High School, and I first want to thank everybody here today for taking time out of your day, because I know that you're busy and it's not always easy to be away from school, so I really appreciate that. First of all, this is personal to me. Both of my kids either went to Hamilton Wenham or currently go there, played sports or are playing sports, so the leadership and the opportunities that you provide are special to me, and having watched them grow up playing sports really against everybody here in the room, I feel really confident that again, they're having a great experience because of, I think, what you provide as people. And one thing I would ask you to think about a little bit as student athletes or spectators in the crowd, by choosing to do those things, you've also chosen to accept the responsibility for being the face of your community, the face of your school. Because you're the people who are out in public, you're performing in public, and just please keep that in mind throughout all of your seasons, because you're the ones that leave the first impression upon the people who come to see our games, and that matters a lot to us. As principals, it matters a lot to us as a school. So best of luck this year, and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Jeff Carvalho. I'm the principal at Georgetown, also the parent of a Cape Ann League athlete. And I just know how important high school competition is, both for my students at my school and also for my own daughter. One reason I think that this event is so great is that I know you guys have competition and rivalry with each other, which is awesome. It makes you perform better. But you really have, as student leaders, you have more in common with each other than you think. And so getting together here makes you realize that you guys are in a lot of the same decisions, and you have a lot in common, and you really should work together on a lot of these things to be good student leaders. And like I said, competition is really healthy, and it's great as long as it's positive, but when it crosses over into that negative, it's bad. It's bad for the school, it's bad for individuals, and so it's really important that you as school leaders foster that positive competition. So rivalry, good, negative is definitely bad, and that's one of the things I hope you guys take away from today. So thanks, have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you to our principals for this supporting this group. I don't know if you realize how hard it is to get out of a building if you're in their role. So if somebody couldn't be here today, I mean, they may have had intentions to be here, but that says something about what you're doing and what we're doing as a league for them to be here and participate. They have great messages, and those are things that we could also add to our program here today. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a little break. So you've been sitting for a little bit now. There's some water over there, a few bagels left. We are going to eat lunch in another hour or so you don't need to fill up again yet. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. You can walk around. You can talk to your principal if you want. When we come back, then we'll hear from our guest speaker. All right? 5 minutes. Okay, now we're going to move on to our speaker for today. Max Lane played 7 years for the New England Patriots as an offensive tackle. He attended United States Naval Academy, serving as a midshipman. He was drafted by the Patriots in 1994, was a starter in Super Bowl 31, and was named to the 1990s Patriots All-Decades team. Max previously assisted the Georgetown in our league football team, and currently coaches offensive and defensive line for the football team at Phillips Exeter Academy. He is very supportive of our league. In conversations with him on the side, he asks questions about some of your teams, how you're doing. He's very aware. He lives in our Cape Ann League community, and we're fortunate to have him come address you today. Let's welcome Max Lane.
I didn't know they were going to have this picture of me up here. How did you get that? Well, thanks a lot for having me. Whenever Mr. Hodgson asked me to speak at this, he told me what this event was all about, and I thought it was a great thing to be having, especially in this time that we're living in. I don't know, like when I was looking at. If you have that other slide that has all the character, leadership, diversity thing, can that one go back up there? Who's controlling the, can we put that one back up? We don't need to see that. Oh, I have control. Okay. When I thought about what I was going to say today, when I came in, I saw this up on the board. Like those 4 things are pretty much what it takes to make a team. You guys are all, I think all of you are on team sports, and I think that these sports, team sports kind of teach you, you've heard a lot of things from your principals, and I heard things from after your breakout sessions. Really, you're saying all the things that I would want to say to you. But the one thing I think that I can kind of tell you is kind of going forward, a little bit of my experiences in bringing those lessons that were learned whenever I was your age and throughout my athletic life, and how I've brought them into my adult life out in the real world. My athletic life, just to give you a little bit of background, I grew up out in Missouri, small town, probably. I think now our population sign says 708. I check every time I go back home. My graduating class had 22 people. We were the second. I played football, basketball, and track. Not much of a track guy, shot put, whatever. But we were the second smallest 11-man football team in the state at that point. When I think about these 4 attributes, I think about, what did I learn in high school? Like very small town, not a lot of diversity back then, but I think diversity comes in all areas, personalities, and I think that what I learned from that is there's 3 things that I learned. And the first one, everybody talks about it, respect. I think it boils down to you've got to have respect for others, respect at a basic level. The second thing I think is having a genuine interest in others. I think that means like really wanting to know what your teammates and people that aren't your teammates are about. Like, where are they from? Like, what's their family like? Where are they? What do they do for holidays? Like things like that you need to get out of your bubble and out of your comfort zone and find out about what your teammates and others are that are in your school. I think back, has anybody ever seen Remember the Titans? That movie. I think about that scene where he made one person talk to another person and they had to learn, 3 things about their teammate that they didn't know before. I think that was a very good illustration of trying to have genuine interest in others. And it's not just about the people that you're on your team with. So where I coach up at Phillips Exeter, our head coach tells our team that you need to get outside of your team in your school and also learn about people that aren't on your team. I know it gets you kind of like, especially in season, you're with your team, you're all that, but you need to get outside your team, because I really think that athletes are the lead. You guys may think of your leaders for your team, but I think you're leaders for your school and you're leaders for your community. And so you can't just, the talents that you have as being leaders and everything, you need to bring that outside of your teams and take it into areas that that are outside of sports, because I think that's really what's going to impact your community the most. And then the third thing, I think, from having after you have the genuine interest in others, is finding commonalities with people. The one thing I think, that I've taken into the real world is, like, I have like a standard, I meet somebody and I'm just like, hey, where are you from? And then, oh, well, where did you grow up? All that. And, if I think about the North Shore, if I meet somebody from Peabody or something, I'm talking about Bill and Bob's roast beef. Like I'm like trying to find what is going to connect us and make us similar, because we all are, like we think that we're all so different, but there's always some sort of commonality between us. And I think that's what ends up bringing people closer. And I think that's what you need to do with the teams and in the communities and the schools that you're at. After high school, I was fortunate to go on and play college football at the Naval Academy. Going from my little fishbowl in rural Missouri to going to that kind of setting where there's people from all over the country, even people from out, not from other countries that are there. I really had to understand and adapt to that environment, and these are kind of the things that I did, like asking questions, finding out, then it became like, oh, where are you from? Oh, what do you do? And it just kind of became, but then I would still try to come back and find that commonality that we had with each other. And then that forged that respect and that friendship, that I still have with a lot of people that even I didn't play sports with today. After Navy, I had the opportunity to continue to play professionally up here in New England. Coming up to New England was way different than Missouri. And kind of getting to know, and then not only the people on my team that were from all over the parts of the country, but then it is also kind of because I've stayed up here after I was done playing, and so getting to know the people in the New England area, and then in the communities that I have that community I live in. I live right here in Newburyport, a couple blocks away. It was a short commute. But I use that same thing. And, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm not from here. I grew up in Missouri. Oh, what did you do? Did you play football when you were a kid? Did you play sports? Like that type of stuff, I think that, and that all comes from respecting the person that you're with and having a genuine interest in that person, in your teammate, in that schoolmate, in that classmate, in that, janitor that's in the school, and then finding a commonality with those people. And I think that's the stuff that you learn from playing sports in high school. You may not look at it right now, you may not think of it that way, but you'll appreciate it when you get older, and you'll see it. The one thing that, you know, as a parent, my son played in the Cape Ann. And, you know, I look at, you know, he's seen me, you know, from like just going and getting pizza when he was a kid, or McDonald's, and anywhere, wherever I'm at and I meet somebody and I do that same thing. And I've kind of started to notice him doing it now. Like, you know, I'll just kind of be across the room and I'll see Hunter, you'll be like, hey, where are you from? I mean, and he's like, oh yeah, where did you know, and it's kind of good because I've been able to pass that on to him. And you know, the one thing I hope that he's getting in college is the courage to go out and talk to people outside the team. That's the other thing that I think that's important for you guys as leaders in your school and in your community, is to get outside of your comfort zone. I don't know if that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm a big questions and answers guy. So if anybody would have any questions about any, I mean, my shoe size is 15. That's normally like kindergartners asking me that. But if there are any questions that you have, like principals, ADs, if you think of anything that from my experiences of where I've been that would be good, you can ask. If not, okay.
Can you speak to, like, not everybody is able to go to the Naval Academy and play in under those structures and guidelines. Can you speak to that a little bit? And then how that maybe have changed when you came to the Patriots?
You mean like, what was it like?
Discipline?
The discipline part of it? Yeah, I mean, we had to, there was a lot of, I mean, I don't know how you say it. It's at the academy. It was, you know, you had to make your bed tight, bounce a quarter off of it, wear your uniform the right way. But there was a lot of, you know, so I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there was a lot of discipline. I don't know how to. But I mean, I think in team sports, I think there's a lot of discipline that you have to have anyway. I mean, hey, you guys show up. You know, I mean, that's a big part of it is just showing up. You know, there's times where you don't want to practice. There's times where you don't want to, you know, go to school. You know, study for that test, or everything like that. But you show up. You have to show up, and I think that's what, you know, sports and everything can teach you, that discipline.
Actually, sportsmanship at the professional level, obviously went so far so and trickling down. Obviously, you know, we're teaching at the high school level, trying to trickle it up. How does it sprinkle down?
I think, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, I was talking with Mr. Hodson before, and we talked about how, like, some of the people that I'm still in contact with are the people that I competed against. Like, you know, because we had that healthy respect for each other. And I love seeing people, if there's ever any events or like so one of my part-time jobs is I'm a uniform inspector for the NFL at Patriots home games. And that puts me in a position where I get to see guys that are maybe have gone on to coach, and they coach for other teams, and I get to see them, but they're guys that I played against. And it's because we had that healthy respect and sportsmanship. Now, we didn't line up in a line like we do, but there was, like, you know, whenever I got done with a game, you know, whether it was at Navy or at New England, like, I went over to the guy that I played against, and even though I wanted to kill him during the game, like, I respected him, you know, for competing against me, and I went over and said good game after the game. No, I didn't go up to the, nothing against kickers, I didn't go up to the kicker and say, hey, good game, but, because I didn't play against him directly, but I would go up, you know, to the people that I played up against, and if there was, and I think that fostered a respect and then an ability to be, when I've seen them in the, you know, after the competition, I was done playing, we've become close friends. And there's lots of people in my life like that.
talked a lot about having interest and a genuine interest in the people you meet. Do you have any stories about a teammate who maybe like surprised you with how interesting they were, or any good stories about maybe not thinking you had the first impression of someone correct, and once you took an interest, you really appreciated who they
You
were?
should have wrote my speech for me. That would have been a good. That would have been a good example to have. I just think in general, I don't really have a specific story about it. I just know that that's what I like. Whenever I meet someone, I just, you know, because it's been done with me in the past, where people just, if you take the time to get to know someone, you never know what you're going to find out.
What are some ways that either coaches or captains on some of the teams you've been on built community?
Build community?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're teams that I've been on, because I think a lot of this, the community stuff has really come on. You know, I'm 52 years old, so I played, you know, my last year of playing football was 2000.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm thinking about it now. The guy that owns the Patriots, Bob Kraft, ever since he took over the team, he was very adamant about getting out into the community. I know whenever I was playing there, I don't know if it's still like that, we had a mandatory 10 appearances that we had to do a year that were volunteer, and you know, that we had to sign up for it. If we didn't do those 10, we were in trouble. And you know, whether that's, you know, going to visit kids that are sick in hospitals. And I think your community can be, well, right here in Newburyport. It can be the Cape Ann League. It can be Massachusetts, and it can be New England. And I think just whatever that community is. But that was probably something that really got me out there as a young person and being in this community. And then when I ended up deciding to make my home here, you know, as an alumni, we get the opportunity to do things like that and get out. And, you know, just like it's cliche, but it's really true, is when you decide to go out and do stuff like that, you really get it. It comes back to you, you know, tenfold, the rewards that you get from doing that stuff. Hey, my first student athlete. Where are you from, man?
I'm from Beverly.
You're from Beverly. What's your name?
Colin Murray.
All right.
Is there anything you know now that you wish you would have known when you were our age?
Ooh. Is there anything that I wish I knew then that I know now?
You know now.
Oh, man. We don't have enough time for that. You know, for me right now, I think of it in terms of like what I tell my son. My son's still, and I probably try to tell him things that I know now that I wish I would have done then. And another one is get out of your comfort zones. Like, don't worry about what other people think so much. Like, as long as if you're doing the right thing. You know, with him, I'm like, you know, hey, you know, more on the sports side of things, but like, if he's not getting the reps, you know, the playing time that he wants, you know, he needs to find time to get that playing time, to get those reps, like whether it's grabbing a buddy before and after practice. That's being a little bit too specific, I think, for your question. But the thing is that he worries about, like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want other people to think that I don't think I'm, you know, good enough or whatever. I don't want to do that extra because of what other people might think. And I tell him, like, who cares? You know, if you need to, whatever you need to do to get, you know, do it. And don't worry about what other people think so much. I don't know if that's, I mean, that's probably, because I think whenever I was younger, you know, I think when I was your all's age, I think there's a lot of pressure like that to be a certain way. and you want to be looked at a certain way. And I think, you know, if you can get past that and get through, like, not worry about that as much in your life, I think you'll be better. Is that all right?
Yeah, I like it.
You're in Beverly, like, did you go to Essex Tech or something?
I go to Essex Tech.
Okay, cool, yeah, because I mean, Beverly's not in Cape Ann, but I know that. Hey,
Do you have any examples of like how the leadership you learned while playing sports helps you out now?
I would say, I mean, I think specifically, I would think that, yeah, I mean, I think I've used the lessons in leadership that I learned from playing sports to, like, seriously, like how I parent my kids. Like, you know, they're, you know, when you're a captain or a leader, you have lots of different personalities on your team, and you have to figure out how, like, what makes one tick and what makes the other tick, because not everybody is exactly the same. And I think about it, I've got 2 kids, a girl and a boy. They're 2 totally different people, and I have to treat each one different. You can't treat everybody the same. And the one thing, another way, I'm glad you asked this. My coach in New England was a guy named, my first coach was a guy named Bill Parcells. And the leadership that I learned from him was that exact point. Like, he would, like, he had guys that had played for him at another team for the New York Giants. And he had them, and he would yell and everything, like berate them, you know, say stuff that you can't say now, and all the time, because he knew that he could do that to those guys. But a guy like me, he was softer with. He was more like, you know, pat on the back, you know, hey, you know, and I think he knew who he could really get on, and knew who he had to kind of, you know, teach, coach differently. And I think that's a part of leadership that I think that is lost sometimes in this day and age, because you always hear that, oh, you gotta treat everybody the same and everything like that. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you gotta, and that's about knowing who you're, you know, knowing people and knowing, you know, the differences in people. Hey. Wait a minute, where are you from? Where?
Rockport.
Okay.
A lot of people fall in
Rockport, okay, Vikings.
Yes.
Okay, I got bad hearing, so may have to yell.
A lot of people fall out of love with their sport. What kept you going?
Okay, you're gonna have to say that all again, but louder.
A lot of people fall out of love with their sport, especially in high school. What kept you going with football?
What kept me going with football? As opposed to other sport? What do you mean?
Like what made, like
What drove me?
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, all right. I was always a guy that, like, I have never been a long-term goal person. And you know, and it took me a long time to kind of accept that, because you always hear that, you know, like, oh, what do you plan on doing in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know, okay? So I was more of a short to mid-term goal person. So I just knew I liked playing football. And when it got to be my junior year and my senior year of high school, I knew I wanted to play again and keep playing wherever I played. And so I never, you know, I never had, I mean, I had like the dreams of like, you know, wow, that would be really cool to play pro football or to play college football, but it was more like up in the clouds, because it wasn't really realistic where I grew up, like out in the middle of Missouri, that was ever going to be possible. But I knew that I liked playing and that I was decent at it, and that I, you know, so when it got to be my senior year, I was like, okay, I think I might have a chance to play somewhere. I'm going to try to play, you know, and try to make that jump. And then in college, you know, there were things at the Naval Academy that, you know, not a lot of guys get the opportunity to go play beyond that, but I just was like, okay, I think I have the chance to play. I'd like to keep playing. It was kind of more of like a, you know, I just want to play the next year. And I think it worked for me. But I think that, you know, but then you hear stories of guys that talked about how they, you know, that was like their goal in life was to make it to playing professional sports, you know. It never was mine. I just was so concerned about, I just wanted to play the next year. And then that's kind of what, I was more like, what's going to make me better that day, that week, that month. And that's kind of, because I couldn't, I mean, if you tell me now where do I see myself in 10 years, I don't even know. All right, where are you from?
I'm from Essex Tech.
Oh, Essex Tech, all right. Okay.
As a leader, you hold standards for your teammates. How do you positively hold them to those standards when they're not showing the effort to hold themselves?
I think there's two types of leaders. I think there's ones that are more vocal, you know, and then I think there's ones that lead by example. But both you have to, you know, if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, right? Yeah. So if you want your teammates, you know, to live up to a certain example, you've got to live up to that example yourself, and even more so. You know, that's kind of, I think it's more about your behavior than it is your words. Did I get it? Is that good? Did you write that down? All right. Now you're going to have to shut this off whenever you want to shut it off. Okay. All right. You told me time limit. Okay.
1 minute left.
All right. Stand up. Give me your name. Give me your school.
I'm Duncan. I'm from Newburyport.
Okay.
My question was, how can fans help make the atmosphere and make the game better?
How can fans?
Yeah.
Keep their mouths shut. I mean, cheer, like, positively, but understand that they're not, you know, when I think about fans, I think about parents, you know, and I think that, you know, referees ref, coaches coach, players play, parents parent. And that's it. And they support their kids, and they support the kids on the, you know, the buddies and the kids on the team. You know, believe me. Now, I have yelled at some refs. I've yelled at some coaches in my day, but, you know, and I was wrong for it. But I think overall, like, just, you know, let the kids play, let the coaches coach, and let the refs try to ref. All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot for having me, guys. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, Max. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go outside for a second, transition to another scenario type thing. You're pretty much going to be moving the rest of the time here. Ms. Molinari is outside waiting for you. So we're going to have, I'll just say the table number. You're going to go out that right exit door. You're going to go to the right. She'll be, you can see her over there, and she'll put you into an activity. So let's have table 9. Go first. Go ahead, 9. 7, 8, 10, 9, 11, 12, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 2 athletic directors, Mr. Murphy from Essex Tech and Mr. Genualdo from Hamilton Wenham, who will lead you through this exercise.
Thank you. All right, so again, you've done a lot of the difficult conversations, kind of the here's what everybody wants to hear kind of stuff. So now we're going to throw some real life scenarios at you is the idea of this activity. Again, very similarly to how we set up the morning or the previous session, 3 tables are going to be working on the same scenario. There's 4 scenarios. you'll come together as a group, and then I believe the plan is to have this or some sort of scenario acted out in front of this entire group. So start to think about that in terms of a big picture. And the ADs at your table can explain a little bit more in terms of each scenario. And as you hear them, right, and there's a million different scenarios, but as you hear them, start to think, kind of if you just stepped forward on a certain question or a statement, right, start to think about how realistic some of these things are, right, because we're not just making them up out of thin air, believe it or not, unfortunately. If you haven't seen them yet or heard about them yet, they might be happening soon. And ourselves as athletic directors, I think the big thing is, you know, one of the main questions is kind of how do you want to see things handled? And how hard or how quickly something might be able to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour pretty quickly. Something starts harmless and then it escalates, right? So start to keep that stuff in the back of your mind. But again, there'll be 4 different scenarios. Again, the ADs at your table can kind of talk about different points of view. Am I missing anything? I think that's about it. So again, we'll have about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or so at your table, and then we'll come together as a smaller group. I think we're going to keep it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be on scenario number 2. 7, 8, and 9 will be on scenario number 3, and then 10, 11, 12 will be on that 4th scenario. Okay? Make sense? If it doesn't, ask a million questions to the athletic director at your table, or come find Mr. Gallagher right over here on the right. Thank you.
You guys are on the left.
Yeah, I feel like chirping too. Yeah, whole group project.
Should we read the scenario or should we just let them? Okay. Well, you'll know exactly what the scenario is based off of these actors, but the scenario 1 is player on the visiting team gets injured in the middle of a basketball game. A home fan begins mocking them as the injured player is on the ground.
I like it.
Oh, get up! Oh, get up, baby! Get up! Need some Tylenol?
This has to be positive cheering, guys. Oh. Your friend. You sassed me, you're out. Come with me.
Ow! Oh. Yeah.
Okay, how would you like, anyone can answer this question, how would you like the athletic director to handle this situation? Excuse me?
So you're
asking?
Oh, how? I think so.
What would you like to see done?
I don't got an answer. I feel like I want them to be like, there to be disciplinary actions. Like, if that be like they get kicked out or like, suspended or something like that.
Suspended from school?
Maybe. It depends on that's crazy. It's a little much. Maybe it will.
Like someone in the back said a little bit much. What's your idea?
Just pick them out and let them come back next game.
Did you say come back next year?
No, come back next game.
Next game, okay. Do you think that this situation warrants the students being removed from the game?
Not all of them.
Not all of them? Have you guys ever experienced this at a game? That the fans are basically belittling an injured player?
We had an incident last week where the student took a flag and ran across the field while there was an Essex Tech injury on the field.
What did you do this museum?
Well, I couldn't find the student. Apparently he wasn't a Linfield student. He was from a different school. Right, but I think if you think about it in that way, what are the next, I mean, is that student allowed back? It's pretty disrespectful.
Yes.
I think it's unacceptable. You shouldn't be demoting someone who's not injured, and I think they should be kicked out immediately if you catch them. And then, like,
So So one and done.
That's not what I meant. I said move in. Yeah, there you go. No. Move in.
Agreed, agreed. Okay, do we have the next speaker back, please?
Yeah, scenario 2, it's going to be group 4, 5, and 6. This scenario states that an adult fan in the stands is being openly and loudly belligerent towards a referee.
Travel that way.
Whoa, ref, are you blind, bro?
Hey, guys, can you please stop?
Nah, bro, do you
It's not
see-
your job. Hey.
Bro, respectfully look at the
Calm
ref.
down. Last
bro.
warning.
He's
Last
made a
warning.
really
This is
bad
your last
call.
warning before you're gone.
My fault. Oh.
Double dribbles that way.
Bro, are you serious, bro?
Nah,
bro, you got to be
No.
outside with this, bro.
You're out here. Unacceptable. You're
I
out
hate
here.
you, bro. Like, what's wrong with him?
You're out. I'm gonna have to call the authorities.
Okay, what was different in that scenario? I know there's two different scenarios between the first and second group, but what is different that the athletic director did in that one that they didn't do in the first one?
She gave a warning and then came back.
Gave a warning. Do you think that, I'm sure some of you or your friends have had warnings at games, and I think when you do that, you're at least putting the student athlete or the parent on notice that this behavior isn't acceptable. Any other thoughts on other ways that could have been handled? Oh,
I think in this scenario specifically, I think what we all want you to know is we want you to be at games, we want you to be loud, right? But that's someone's child, right? And a lot of the things that were said in my group was, it feels embarrassing when that happens, right? And so if it's an adult, there's a thing that if we remove them from the game, then their kid is gonna be super embarrassed, right? So we want you all to be there, we want your parents to be there, we want you to be loud and excited. But I would just wanna throw in that perspective that that's also someone's child, so that's something we deal with, that if we eject a parent from a game, that their kid's gonna be worse off and embarrassed. So I just wanna say that.
One other quick one on the referee one. You all know we don't have enough referees. And it's things like this that make referees think twice about officiating our games, and we can't play without them. We're not all perfect, whether we're coaches, students, or officials. So as Max said, play your role that you're at the game in. If you're an athlete, you're playing. If you're a parent, you're going to cheer. And if you're officiating, you're going to try to do the best job you can to officiate. Because officials aren't there to try to give you a bad job. They're trying to do the best that they can. Okay, number 3.
Group 7, 8, and 9. As they're coming up, this scenario is during quiet parts of a game, an entire student section of fans is yelling distracting noises and/or targeting a specific player by name and number.
Why do you gotta point?
Boo!
Why do you gotta point?
That's terrible.
That's
Whoa, I'm gonna need y'all to calm down, all right? That's one warning, okay?
One.
That's one warning. That's one warning.
Yeah, that is your daughter, all right?
Buddy, get back on the
Hey,
bench.
your coach feels bad for you, Brady. What are you doing? Your coach feels bad for you.
Last call. You guys are done.
Boo!
You know what?
Boo!
Get out. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, we're done.
I have a question for everyone, and this probably shows my age. What is it with the animal sounds? Why? Because they're loud? Why is it funny? Funny to you as kids in the stands, but maybe not funny to a grandparent, or even the kid who's taking the free throw. I understand, causing a distraction, but, back in the day, you used to just pound your feet in the bleachers. Probably you don't want to do that now as ADs. Anything else on that scenario? Do you think that the athletic director handled it appropriately?
Yeah, I think he did great.
Is that you?
He did terrible.
I think we all want you to cheer at games, but it just comes to a point where the focus is going off the playing area and going to you. And I think the whole point of going to interscholastic activities is to cheer for what's going on the court and not what's going on in the stands. Last one.
Yep, fourth group, 10, 11, and 12, from all the way in the back. A team is soundly beating their opponent by 50 points and/or 15 goals, depending on what sport we're talking about. Give us, oh, that's it. That's the scenario. I don't talk about perspectives.
Hey coaches, can you come here for a second? So the score is 50-0. You as coaches and grown men, do you think you can kind of figure something out with your team to make the game end in an even way?
Sure. Yo, JV.
I like that. How many of you have been on the receiving end of a large deficit loss? How do it make you feel? A lot of hands on it. How to make you feel? Embarrassed? Helpless? Angry? Sometimes when we get these large deficits, the team that gets angry can sometimes resort to more physical play, which could lead to injury, and that's not what we want. There is a thing that I think all people can do to kind of reel that back a little bit, and as they showed in the skit, it's putting in kids maybe who don't play as much. I think we all know that there are always going to be teams that are extremely talented and those that are not. And I think you kind of know before you play the game that it's probably may not go your way, although anything can happen in a game. But I think it's important for you, even you as a student athlete, to kind of realize that the other person on that team is really not feeling good about getting hammered. And we as coaches and athletic directors, I think we should kind of give our coaches a little look, like, okay, it's time to put your subs in. Because no one wants to get killed. Okay, and I'm going to give you a personal situation that I was a part of a long time ago. That probably within the last 10, 15 years, I look back on it and I'm thinking, what was my coach thinking and what were we thinking as athletes? We beat a team 88-8. We only had 8 kids on our team, but we were running and gunning and pressing the entire game. Now, back then, it really wasn't, no one said anything. We didn't think of anything of it. But now, later on in life, I look back and I think those kids on the team must have felt so belittled, so diminished because of the thrashing that we put on them. And it just has made me think as an athletic director, a former athletic director and a coach, I will never do that to a team again because I know what it feels like to be the one who is supplying the large deficit, and I know what it must have felt for them as student athletes. So, Mr. Hudson, are we lunchtime?
Thank you.
All right. Obviously, the playing skills are better than the acting skills in the league, but great effort. Put yourself out there. That's awesome. And it is going to be on TV. You're going to get a chance to see this. Again, this was video. Didn't tell you that before. So now, we're going to do a lot of different things in the next 45 minutes. All real low key. One's going to be lunch, and you can have lunch here, or right outside. Just don't go over the elementary school, just stay like on the property here. You can stay in here, have lunch. We have Drew Mulholland from WBZ, and he also is a local personality here. He introduced Newburyport athletes. And he did this last year for us. He's gonna have groups. Each school will come up. I don't know if everybody will speak. 3 will sit, 2 will stand, whatever. And he'll spend a few minutes just asking a few questions. So you're all gonna get some FaceTime there. We're gonna be selecting PSA candidates to come up, somebody from your school to talk, just read this quick bullet point for the PSA that we're gonna create. We're going to be giving out t-shirts, and we're gonna have a group photo. So it sounds like a lot, but there's gonna be a lot of downtime. So your athletic director might be reaching out saying who wants to speak, or if you all wanna speak, then we might pull out a hat, whatever. So that's what's happening. We are going to go alphabetically with Drew. So we're gonna start with the Red Hawks coming up, and then I'll go with the PA here and I'll say who is next. So we'll go right down the list. And so Amesbury, if you could come up behind the screen here, and the rest, help yourself to plates and the pizza.
Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive, a special on-site location show today. We're at the Cape Ann League Student Athlete Summit, which we're now doing for the 2nd year in a row, meeting a lot of the young student athletes out here, coaches, athletic directors. First up, Amesbury. How are you guys? What's going on? Let's introduce yourselves first.
Oh, okay. My name's Callum Noseworthy. I'm a junior at Amesbury High School, and I play football and baseball.
Cool. Passing around.
My name is Julia Parsons. I'm also a junior at Amesbury High, and I do cross country and track.
My name is Stella Mitchell. I'm also a junior at Amesbury High, and I do soccer and track.
All right. Well, you're next to me, so we begin with you. What have you taken out of this so far today?
Just like how to project leadership in multiple places other than the field, both in the fan sections and at school and just every situation.
There was earlier I saw a demonstration. There were kids acting out some scenarios. This is a very kind of interactive day.
Exactly.
What's it been like so far for you? What have you taken out of it?
I've enjoyed it a lot. I think I've learned a lot how to be a team leader and how to show sportsmanship and also hold my teammates accountable in certain situations, and then along with assisting them if things go wrong or in the game.
Are you all captains?
Yes, I am.
Okay, everybody here is a captain, I believe. You're not a captain. Okay, well let's go to you next then. What do you play there, Cal?
I play football and baseball.
You're football. Okay, what have you? What's been the glaring thing that you've taken out of today?
That I actually have a lot of things in common with other people from other towns. I'm against these people a lot in sports, obviously.
Yeah.
And we have pretty big rivalries, especially with Newburyport.
Yeah.
And I've learned that I have a lot in common with them, so
that's an interesting point, yeah, because you're used to competing with these guys on the field, and suddenly, have you actually had time to kind of talk with other guys you go play against? What are those conversations been like?
It's just been how's it looking for next year? Because especially with all the seniors, our seniors this year are a big factor of our team.
Okay.
So that's been the big talk of most of it, but yeah.
And you're we're going to get you on Thanksgiving? That's right.
Yeah, hopefully.
Very good. We'll see what they say about that when they come over.
Yeah.
Anything surprise you here today so far? Or,
Just doing the skits and realizing that these are real life things that actually happen.
Yeah.
When this fan section is being disrespectful if a teammate gets hurt, and how we're supposed to react to that, and how the athletic directors have to step in and sometimes kick people out, but it just kind of broadens your perspective of what happens on the field.
Yeah, because you're all athletes, but you're also learning when you're not athletes and you're attending your friends' games and stuff, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of a big point of today.
Yeah.
Last year I remember officiating was a big part of this, and how to treat officials, and how to deal with if you see somebody yelling at officials, which you shouldn't be. What is there a little bit of that going on today too?
Yeah, we did a lot about that. I think we just need to remember to respect the officials, because they're trying their best and everything.
Yeah.
but it is hard because like they have to like make those decisions like every second of the game. So
You actually realize that officiating is hard. That's a good step.
Yeah.
How was the let's a little bit lighter from this point. How's the season been for your sport so far at Amesbury? Has it been a pretty good
It's
overall?
been, it's been good. We definitely are looking a lot better than last year, so that's good. Like especially like our team had some ups and downs with like positivity last year. That's looking a lot
Positivity
better.
issues.
Yes,
Okay,
but
that's not good.
that's looking a lot better this
All
year.
right,
So.
very good.
Yes.
Yeah, our team's doing really well. We're 2-0 right now, and we're hoping to win the Cal Baker League. So,
All right.
Yeah, it's
Very
awesome.
good. Football?
Football's 3-0 right now.
Wow,
right?
good for you
We're
guys.
3-0, so we're feeling pretty confident going into our game this weekend against Ipswich. So
Very hot start. All right, well, guys, it was good to have you. I'm going to let you get back to your thing. Amesbury, Cal, Julia, and Stella. Very good. Excellent. The first 3 of the day. Good job, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, now we bring in Essex Tech here at the summit. Let's introduce the athletes here first. We'll begin with you.
My name is Janelle Dalton.
Hello, Janelle.
I'm Ella Tucker.
I'm Colin Murray. I'm Kyle Heckman.
I'm Jake Gilbert.
Oh, I like this. You're a good distributor of the microphone. This is a
Didn't know
great
where to put
strategy. So let's start with you then. What sport do you play?
I play volleyball, basketball, and lacrosse.
Very good. What's been your favorite part of the summit here so far?
I like the team building of it, and I like how we get to like socialize with the other schools in the league.
Everybody seems to like that. Talking with the athletes they're used to competing against. It's kind of interesting. What do you like so much about that?
I think when you're competing against people, it's hard to like respect them in a way because you're so dead set on like beating them and being better than them.
That
but when you
competitive
step
fire
off,
steps in, right? Yeah.
Right. But when you step off and like take a step back, it's like we're all similar. So it's fun to understand that.
All right, very cool. How about you? What have you taken out of the summit here today?
I like how we're doing the team bonding as well. Like, I see a lot of familiar faces from club sports.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good to see them with their high school and like.
Oh, very cool. Let's go back row there. Was it Jacob? What do you play, Jacob?
I play football.
You football? Oh, there it says it right on the shirt. It could have been more observant. How's the football season going so far?
Could be better.
Could be better. All right. The lot of like officiating that was a big thing last year. About like crowds, and football usually has pretty big crowds. Like, was that a big part of this for you guys? Learning how to treat officials out there.
Yeah.
Especially with football, it's a tough sport to referee, right?
Yeah, it gets on. They can get on your nerves sometimes, but
The officials or the fans?
Both.
Okay.
You just gotta remain respectful. That's it.
What are you guys learning how to like deal with officials and deal with calls you don't like, or?
Yeah, well, what do you mean?
Like, are they treating like, I don't know, you don't want to be yelling at officials all day, but are they telling you approaches to talk things out?
I just try to not talk to him. I just try to mind my own business.
There are strategies, Jacob, that can work. Kyle, how about you? What are you getting out of this day?
I think the team bonding part of it's very good, and I think it's really cool to see like the kids that you've been playing against all year and be able to talk to them and see how their rest of their season's going and like how different schools like work for sporting events and stuff.
Gotcha. Colin, are you a captain for these teams, or?
I'm not a captain.
You're not a
I just play golf and hockey.
Golf and hockey.
I really like how I get to meet new people that are on different teams that I don't really get to speak to and see, and I play against them and I work hard against them and I just like getting in the background and really getting to know them.
How did they pick you guys to come in here? What's the protocol? You passed that one right off. Okay.
You just have to be a good like student leader, and me,
They pick the best
Janelle,
leaders,
and
okay.
Kyle are captains.
Okay.
So they pick leaders that they see on the field and that are doing good in academics.
So you snuck in without even having the captain. Nice. That's
Yeah.
actually a good compliment. Very good. And last but not least, what do you guys really hope to like pass on to teammates? I imagine that's probably the goal of this, right? You want to actually bring it back to teammates and make it into a real thing.
Yeah, definitely bring it back to our team and like do what we learned here to bring the team together more.
Yeah.
And be more respectful to the refs and teammates.
More respectful. I like that. You want to add? We can end with you if you want.
Yeah, of course. So as a leader and a captain, you have to, kind of like delegate your team in a way. You have to let them all know how we can be better. And today we learned a lot about respect, and I really like that idea of respecting the other teams, the refs, and the student sections as well. So yeah, I'm excited to bring that back to my team.
Delegating. Good job. Essex Tech. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, the Georgetown Royals are in the house here back at the summit. Let's introduce the Royals. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Rowan Richards. I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Hannah Stevens. I'm a junior as well.
Hi, I'm Liv Hilt. I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Cole, and I'm a junior.
All right, Cole, you're next to me. You're going first, junior. Probably trying to learn, and maybe you'll be a captain next year. Who knows? Are you already a captain?
No, not
okay.
yet.
Yeah, a lot of juniors that we speak to are hoping to be captains. Maybe senior year. You're trying to learn some stuff on how to be a good captain coming out of this.
Yeah, definitely.
You can hold it if you want.
Yeah, being a captain's always been the goal for me. Even when I was little, playing Little League baseball, I always wanted to be on varsity. I'd be in 4th grade watching the varsity games, and I was so inspired by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. How about you? Are you a captain?
Yeah.
You are a captain.
Yeah.
All right, so he's striving to be you.
Yeah.
That's cool. A little added pressure being a captain of a high school sports team?
Yeah, for sure. I just remember when I was a freshman looking up to all the captains above me, and that's what I strive to be for the kids coming up. So.
Yeah. What do you think about as far as leadership tools here? Are you taking some stuff out of this?
Definitely how to be a more responsible leader and more aware of my community and how to help those in the community, especially younger students going into high school sports.
Okay. I think people sometimes, especially when you're an upperclassman, sometimes you forget how much an imprint you leave on freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Do you all kind of feel that?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And I was talking about that on the way here with a few others, and we were just thinking about how when we were younger, we always looked up and idolized everybody older on the team, but now when you're actually the older person, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
But then when you actually realize you're a role model for all your younger teammates, it's whoa.
You're that happened quick.
Yeah.
Tyler, we'll go to you a little bit. You're obviously football, Tyler. Yeah. Or you're just wearing the sweatshirt. I don't know, but no, you play for the football team. How's it going this year?
We co-opted with Pentucket, so once we joined Pentucket, we're doing pretty well.
You what? Sorry?
Co-opted with Pentucket.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we
good.
didn't have enough for the team.
Oh, okay, cool. You guys having a good early start to the season, though? Or?
Yeah, we're doing 2-1, so we're doing all right right now.
Very good. What are you taking out of this so far today?
Definitely that what we do on the field also has an effect on the stands and the parents.
A lot of stand stuff going on here today.
Yeah. And how we affect other people.
Parents, you're the first one to mention parents. Any parents can get a little crazy too in the stands. It's not always just the high school. It's not really your job on the field to try to control parents. Usually, hopefully, there's somebody in place to do that. But do they give you tools on how to deal with rowdy crowds here and all that?
Not really. They just don't want us to engage with it.
Don't engage. That's good advice. You wanted to add something to that, Cole? It seems like you were ready.
Yeah. They kind of just want us to stay out of it if there is an issue with a parents and try to control the student section as much as we can.
Yeah. People do follow your lead out there. What's been the let's a little fun note? How about from the girls? What's been the highlight of the season so far? Any good stories for me?
I'd say the highlight for volleyball, we've had a pretty rough season so far, but
okay, sorry.
I'd say the highlight is definitely our bonding at our pasta dinners and just bus rides on the way to a game or even coming back from a loss.
Okay.
Our energy's still high and everybody just has a good time.
Yeah, good answer. You're enjoying the whole experience. I like the pasta answer. Anybody else want to add to that? You got any good highlights or?
Yeah, just the music on the bus is really encouraging.
Yeah. Who are we listening to?
A lot of SZA, a lot of Drake.
Okay. Good. Highlight of the season? What do you like?
I'd say the highlight of our season right now is the way we've been able to come together as a whole and really start to become a family.
Aww.
And yeah, so it's really fun to
That's a
be a
sweet
part
way
of.
to end with Georgetown. Good job. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Of course, thank you.
All right, Hamilton Wenham in the house. How we doing, everybody? Let's introduce yourselves. Aiden, you go first.
I'm Aiden Noonan.
All right.
I'm Maddie Wilson.
I'm Cooper Miller.
I'm Angelina Mamateus.
I'm Brian D'Souza.
All right, Aiden, I gotta give you props. You're the boys all sat down first, and you go, I think we should let the girls sit. That was very polite of you, but you all ended up sitting in the front anyway. Could you? Aiden, what are you taking out of the day so far here?
We've learned a lot from leadership skills and also how to act in the crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of this is being a fan at all these games too, right? How about you?
I think the biggest thing is being the leader. Being the person that everybody looks up to, and not being the kid that everyone's oh, that kid just always kind of a little aggressive towards people or something. You want to be the guy that everybody seems is a nice person and always want to talk to them.
Good role model, yeah. There's a little more pressure that comes with that as an upperclassman, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think about it as I was a freshman. It was definitely harder to talk to the older people, but me being an older person now, and being an upperclassman, I want like the younger freshmen to be able to talk to me like whenever they want, and being like me being able to be open to the younger people.
Cool. Maddie, you having fun?
Yeah, I am. It's exciting.
Anything catch you off guard here today?
Not really. I mean, it's like repeated tellings. It's just also interesting to know, like, be an outstander, not a bystander. Kind of learning that, and then also taking what we've learned here and bringing that back to our school and telling other people to be the outstander, not the bystander, too.
Yeah, very cool. Angela, there's a lot of talk today about how it's kind of cool to talk with people you're used to competing against.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us like are kind of rivals, I guess.
So you're not talking to anybody? No, just kidding.
No. So it's like interesting to see how like we can work together and build off of each other rather than like kind of competing against each other. So working together is kind of interesting to see.
Okay, cool. Brian, what are you taking out of this so far? What's been the most rewarding? I got Brian. You can hold it.
I just feel like respect is a big thing with like other schools and having respect for each other even off the field. Coming here, like we have a game after this playing at Essex Tech in soccer, and I feel like it's a good thing that we're here like learning about leadership together and then keeping like our differences.
You're going to be like the most sportsman-like player ever today, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is definitely what I'm saying.
This is. Very cool. Let's end on a kind of a high note. How have the individual seasons been for you guys so far? You're a golfer, obviously?
Yeah.
How's it been?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Team's looking good. We're getting ready for our state tournament coming up.
Making a lot of putts?
Try to. Try and hit more fairways.
I play volleyball, and the season's gone pretty well. We've had some wins and losses, not perfect, but I think the team's overcoming a lot of the challenges and working towards state champs.
Nice. Good answer. Keep passing it off there.
I play tennis, so nothing yet, but we're just state champs, so hopefully the team will be good again.
Just state champs, casual. Yeah.
2 years in a row.
This year I'm also on the golf team. We're 3-3 right now. Looking to push on to never lose another match again this year, you know?
There you go.
Pushing to be maybe 12-3. That's what I'm hoping for. Hope this kid right here is also hoping for the same thing.
There you go.
We're big team leaders on this team, and we want to make sure that our team keeps moving.
There you go. They never lost after the summit. That could be the story.
Yeah.
I'm on the soccer team, and we're doing pretty well this year already. We're 6-1-1 right now, and we're looking forward to win a couple more games.
A hot start. Very good. Keep it going. All right, Hamilton and Wenham. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back here at the summit, we're here with the Ipswich Tigers in the house. Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are we doing?
Good. Ryan, let's introduce yourself, and then we'll do the whole team. Go ahead.
What should I say?
What's your name?
Well, I'm Ryan.
Great start. Ryan,
start.
last name?
Meany.
I'll walk you through this whole thing. What sport do you play, Ryan?
I'm a hockey and baseball player.
There you go. You go.
Hi, I'm Brady Arnold.
And
I
what sport?
play hockey, soccer, and track.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'm Kyra Zaheen, and I play field hockey and softball.
Okay.
I'm Spencer McDavid, and I play soccer and lacrosse.
All right.
I'm Maddie. I play field hockey, track, and lacrosse.
All right, I'm going to start with Maddie. She's right next to me. What has been the most rewarding part of today so far for you?
I think like getting to know all of the other like towns that we play against and like seeing their face in like a friendlier way.
Yeah, I think almost every school has said that so far. It's nice to talk with the competitors or people you're used to competing against.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys agree, Ryan? You like that?
Yeah, I love that.
What's been the anything surprise you here today so far?
Nothing's really surprised me. It's just kind of the way everything's worked, seeing people that I know and meeting new people. It's pretty good. It's
You
pretty
like
nice.
you just like the socializing
yeah,
part
I
of
like
it.
socializing.
What's Spencer? Anything catch you off guard today, or anything you're taking out of this?
Not as of yet. I mean, our little activity we did out there.
What'd you guys do out there?
We took a step for every negative comment or negative situation.
You took. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of steps. A lot of steps.
All right.
Lots
So we're
of
trying to
steps.
learn from that. I get you.
And trying to switch the roles around. And
Brady, how important is it to get all these tools like kind of back to your teammates? That's really the goal of this in the end, right?
Well, I think that through this, like, I learned a lot of good, like, leadership skills and kind of just how to effectively communicate with my team and just help them so that we can be successful. Like,
Are you
throughout
all
the year.
captains? No.
Me and her.
You two are?
Yeah.
Are you all upperclassmen?
We're all juniors.
All juniors, okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys are not captains over here? Maybe. Do you hope to be soon to be? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You hope to be a captain next year? Like a microphone, help her out. What makes you want to be a captain so much?
I don't know. I think it's just like I love everybody on my teams. Like I just want to be like a bigger part and like a bigger role.
You just smile your way through it. You don't feel any added pressure being captain. All right, very good. That's probably a good trait then. How about you?
Yeah, I hope to be a captain too.
And Spencer already gave you the approval there. He said soon to be captain, so that's good. Real quickly, individual seasons, how they going so far as like records, and you off to a good start? Give me a quick little rundown.
Our records aren't great. We're 1-5-1 right now.
All right.
So we definitely have to find ourselves. Our camaraderie's still up. We have good energy. We just need to. We've been putting a lot of effort in. We just need to connect the dots.
All right. I like that answer. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in season right now.
You're not in season, yeah. And you weren't in season. You are.
Yeah, well, for soccer, I am.
For soccer, right? How you doing?
I think our record's like 5-1 too.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're like good individually, but we just need to work more together as a team.
There has been a lot of stories of teams really turning it around after this summit, so there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Post summit. Very good. You guys want to add anything else? Ipswich has been good. You want to say anything else?
No.
All right. Well, have fun for the rest of the day. Smile your way through the day. Very good. All right, welcome back to the Cape Ann League Student Athlete Summit here in Newburyport. My name is Drew Mulholland, live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Thank you all for taking in this little special edition. In the house now, we got the Linfield Pioneers. Going to have you guys introduce yourself. Hello.
Hello, I'm Zaire Mitchell. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a tri-sport athlete.
All right.
George. I'm Izzy Fiorentino. I'm a sophomore, and I play field hockey and lacrosse.
All right.
I'm Emma Rose, and I'm a junior, and I play soccer and basketball.
I'm Quinn Hardesty. I'm a senior. I play football and spring track.
My name is Paul Daly. I'm a junior, and I play golf and lacrosse.
All right, let's go back around. Zaire, we'll start with you. What are you taking out of this today so far? What are you taking out of it so far? What's been the...
I feel like I'm just a listener in this scenario, in this situation. It's my first time being here, so I'm just trying to take in as much knowledge as I can.
What year are you usually?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore, so you're one of the youngins here. Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to learn from all these upperclassmen. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Who do we have? Are you an upperclassman?
No, I'm also a
You're
sophomore.
a sophomore, too.
So
All right,
I'm
so
like,
this is the young crew.
So I'm in the same boat as Zaire. I'm just like trying to learn everything that all the upperclassmen have been here for, and it's just nice to see everyone come together, and like we're all part of the Cal, so it's just like nice to see we're all in the same community.
Nice. Very good.
So this is my first year. I'm a junior, so it feels like I feel important for being recognized, like as a leader.
It is kind of an honor to be called to this thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Because like I got the email, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you.
I won't decline.
It's really fun to see also like because I'm in soccer season, seeing all the soccer girls, and then also girls I play basketball with, like getting to know them a little. So
do you think you learn stuff from other players out here?
Yeah, definitely. Like even just simple things like what other sports do they play? Like I only know them for one sport sometimes.
Yep.
So it's also interesting to see like hobbies and stuff they like. And
yeah, so even like the social aspect of just meeting people you compete against is nice.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What are you taking out of the day so far?
As a senior, I still have a lot of leadership experience, but going to summits like these, it's never too late to learn leadership skills.
Yeah.
And it's definitely good to see a lot of other players in the Cal see their experiences through high school and figure out how to be a better leader.
You're probably familiar with a lot of these scenarios that they're talking about because you've seen a lot more. Do you think you learn more on the field, or like more like for?
I think you learn more at places like this and reflecting. A lot of the time on the field, you're more focused on the game, and you're not really thinking too much until you look back.
Moves quickly out there.
Yeah, moves quickly.
Yeah,
it's good to reflect.
Good answer.
And I'm a junior, so like I don't have much leadership experience, but it's great to come out here to learn for next year, especially to get me prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, like golf, it doesn't relate to a lot of other sports, so it's a little bit different. But like I've tried to take what I can learn and kind of apply it to my life and how like I can use it to help my teammates.
Oh, come on. There's a lot of life lessons in golf. Come on now. Very good. Let's end on a lighter note here. How you guys, you're not in season, you said, or are you in season? You were, how's the season going so far?
Pretty good. 3-0 going into week 4 down in Tucket.
Okay.
A lot to expect from this team.
Football, my bad, sorry. Of course it's in season. I'm mixing it up with all you guys. 3-0, good start.
Yes, sir.
What's been the key to the good start?
Just practicing, working hard throughout practice. Our chemistry is very good, and we're young,
chemistry's
talented,
good,
and confident.
And well, good luck the rest of the way. You guys?
So field hockey, we're in season right now. We're doing pretty good. I mean, we're 4-2-1 right now. So our team is very new. There's a lot of young players, especially like offensively. So we're just like trying to figure out how well we can work together. And compared to how we started in the beginning of the season, we've definitely improved so much more because we were just so new as a team. We weren't used to playing together yet, and so now we're just like really have that chemistry, like Zaire said. And just,
chemistry is the word for the Linfield crew here.
Yeah, and it really we have improved a lot. So.
Real quick, let's see you three too. Go ahead.
So soccer obviously in season. We're 6-1-0.
Don't say obviously, it's not that.
I think this has been our best year in a long time.
Yep.
We're mostly juniors, seniors, so last year was kind of like our building up year. And I think this year we just really want to like dig deep and win and see how far we can make it. Like we think we have a chance for something. So we're just gonna keep going.
Well, good luck to you. You boys?
Like Zaire said, football is 3-0. I think it's really great to see word of the day, chemistry.
Yep.
A lot of people just want to win. Since January, we've had off-season workouts, and it's good to see that the whole team really cares, is bought in, wants to see it go far.
Zaire, good captain? Of course. Thank you. He said of course. Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, the golf team's having one of their best years, going 8-0 right now.
Oh, wow.
And so undefeated right now, best record in a long time, so we hope to keep it going. I mean, again, like my friend said, we're looking for chemistry, looking to win, and been doing pretty well with that.
How's your short game?
Pretty good. It's been serving me well so far.
I need some lessons. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Linfield Pioneers. All right, Manchester Essex Regional High School in the house. Hello, everybody. How we doing?
Great.
Good. Let's introduce ourselves. What's your name?
My name is Henry Thurlow, and I am a senior at Manchester Essex.
All right. Actually, I'm going to change it up. I have been having you pass it around, but let's just start with you. What are you taking out of this so far today?
Just how to be a leader and put it into like the real world situation, and how to take what you learn on the football field or the sports field.
Yep.
And use it in real life situations.
It's football right now for you. You think you're a good leader for the football team right now?
I'd like to say I am.
Yeah.
So,
but learning more as you go.
Yeah, learning as I go.
Let's go behind you.
All right, I'm Cade Furs. I'm also senior at Manchester.
Okay. You play football or?
No, I don't. I play basketball.
Basketball. All right. Cool. What's the? What are you taking out of this today?
What I take out is really just like everyone's different, and you gotta pick and choose like which ways to lead certain people.
Yep.
Certain people respond to different leadership, so you can't treat everyone the same. Everyone's different.
Gotcha. All right, let's go in front here.
Hi, my name is Mechi. I'm also a senior.
Okay. Are you a captain, Mechi?
Yes, I am.
You are. All right. Do you feel the pressure of being a captain?
No, I mean, I think it does take responsibility, but like I said, everyone's competing for the same thing, and we all just want to win, so
you embrace that pressure.
Yeah, I try to help my team and lead us to victory. So.
Cool. Any surprises here for you today?
Not really. I mean, I think like the main thing that I learned is that everyone has a lot more similarities than differences.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're all just trying to play, and there's more similarities.
Cool. Who's behind you there?
Hi, Mateos Romanian, play baseball.
Cool, man. What's have you? A lot of people here today have talked about how they like seeing the competitors, people they played against in the past. You feeling that vibe out here today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun to see the people like I play against, because like obviously I'm trying to beat them, but now like we're coming together for like the good, try to like promote leadership. So
yeah, very cool. Kaylee, any surprises for you? I don't care which microphone you use. You can use that one. Sure.
I'm Kaylee. I don't think there were any surprises.
Give your last name too. It's always
Kaylee Patrick.
All right.
I'm a senior as well. I play field hockey.
There you go. As the shirt says.
Yes.
How is it pressure being a leader here at the?
I think there's definitely a little bit of pressure, but I think it's something that we've all as leaders looked forward to since we started.
How do you take what you learn? How do you take what you learn here and bring it to the field?
Yeah, I think definitely like the individual scenarios that we looked at were really helpful. Like learning how to work with our ADs to support like the students and the fans around us.
It's the first person to say that. That's good. The athletic directors are going to like you. Did it get louder in here? I think it did. Who wants the last word here from Manchester Essex Regional High School, which is the toughest title I've had to say today. How's school life? Who wants the last word here? Let's go. You want it? All right.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the? How would you sum up 2023 so far? Overall school.
We're bringing a lot of energy. We have a new principal, so like we're getting used to how she does things compared to our last one, and like we're kind of working there with her to like get our student section back and running and like all that kind of stuff. So.
Shout out to the principal. Nicely done.
Yeah.
It's brownie points. All right. Very good. Manchester Essex Regional High. Thank you all. Appreciate the time. Thank you. Welcome back to the Cape Ann League Summit here at Newburyport. My name is Drew Mulholland, live at Drew's House Job Afternoon Drive. Thank you for joining us. We're here with some of the members of the North Reading Hornets, student athletes. Let's introduce yourselves.
I'm Elise. I'm
Let's go full names, Elise. Full
Elise
names.
Muty.
Right.
Maggie Schultz. I'm Keely Hannon.
I'm Ryan Lab.
And I'm Brandon Eng.
Good job distributing the microphone. First question's for you with that. What have you taken out of today? You enjoying yourself?
We learned a lot about leadership and what it means to be a leader.
Are you a captain?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what year are you?
I'm a junior.
Oh, okay, so you very easily could be a captain next year. What do you think about when you're envisioning that possibility?
I just want to do what's best for the team, lead them to win games and even through losses too.
Good answer. What you learning some tools here for good leadership?
Yeah, I learned a lot about how listening to our teammates is really important and just respecting everyone on the team and the other team, all coaches and refs and everything like that.
Nice. Keely, you can use this microphone actually. A lot of people here today have talked about how they like meeting kids from other teams. Have you taken that as well?
I think it's definitely important to meet people from other teams because you get a lot of different perspectives. Because I think with sports we get wrapped up in what's best for our team and what's best for our school, but I think getting a different perspective on things and learning different techniques of leadership and sportsmanship is good.
Do you notice more similarities or differences?
I think I noticed a lot of differences actually because I think it's between the individuals, the sports, the teams, just everything.
All right, that's interesting. How about the boys back there? Are you guys both baseball and football? Is that the deal?
Yeah, baseball and football.
Cool. So your football's in season. Let's start with you there, Brandon. How's the season going first?
It's going well.
Good.
Kind of, what do you want on the team or no?
No. I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
How about football is a very loud environment. A lot of this work I know today is stands and kind of if you're visiting another game, not necessarily playing.
Yep.
It's, if you see something going wrong in the stands, you should say something. I know a lot of that is this. What has been the football environment? What have you learned to bring to the football environment from this?
From on the field, we kind of are always preaching energy and intensity, and as players, we're kind of not really focused on what's going on in the stands.
Yeah.
I know that as our North Reading community, we have a great community, and I have trust in what they're saying and doing in the stands. And
what about when you go to a hockey game, though? Do you think do people step up and, if there's bad actions going on
There's
in the crowd?
There's definitely some chanting. I would say it is more negative than positive, and I still trust what we say. I trust what we do, and just as a whole as a North Reading community.
Do you guys learn tools dealing with referees and stuff? I know that's a big part of this too. Ryan, maybe you can take that one. Referees or umpires, or do you learn tools to deal with them if you don't like a call or something?
I think the parents definitely are involved with that. And
parents, yeah.
Yeah. So some students definitely do talk to the refs and yell at them, get angry, but I think it's just our job to be quiet and let them do their job, and we cheer on our team.
Do you guys think referees get enough and umpires get enough respect in 2023 out there?
Definitely not, because even athletes on the field get mad at them. They're talking to them during the game, even after the game. If a coach or someone is just yelling at them, they just get a lot of bash.
It's a tough gig, right?
Yeah.
How about you? What do you guys think? Referees get enough respect, or?
I think they deal with a lot of back talk and
they certainly do.
Yeah, as athletes, I think we need to respect them more.
So that was a big lesson today. All right, anybody want to add to that? You good?
I think I noticed with our sports, we're very respectful. We thank them after the games and we greet them. I think, but there are times when they make a bad call and you notice people say things.
Yeah, you get fiery, but that's good. You make an extra effort to give the referees props. I like that. All right, North Reading, thank you all. The Rockport Vikings in the house. Hello, everybody. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Ella, we'll start with you. Give me your full name there.
My name's Ella Silver.
And what do you play? Is it soccer?
I play soccer and basketball.
How's the soccer season going?
It's good. Yeah, we have a new coach this year, so we're definitely getting over some bumps in the road, but it's been good.
Anything that came up here today that's soccer specific that you took out of this?
Not exactly soccer specifics, just all around sports in general. That's a positive impact and getting to hear from different perspectives from different schools, which was good.
Everybody keeps saying that. They like hearing from the other schools, which is good. Braden, what are you taking out of today?
I don't know, the leadership qualities and...
You a captain?
No, but I will be an upcoming captain next year.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
Yeah.
guys already know that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. I just like Ella said, like seeing the different perspectives between other schools and how maybe they're taught leadership, and how maybe we can pick something up from them and they can pick something up from us.
Yeah, Ben, I take it you probably have had captains in your career already that you probably look up to and learn some stuff from. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like to like learn from the captains and see how like to be a leader in the future.
How about was Allie back there? Sorry,
Allie George. Yeah.
You were on the soccer team as well, or is it softball?
Yeah,
Both.
soccer, basketball, and softball.
Oh, okay, 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
So you could, there's a lot you could probably, you got to deal with referees, umpires, all that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely took a lot out from today, especially like the team bonding aspect,
Hmm.
like taking what we learned today and how to communicate with your team and bring it to the field and even out of school and like just in our classrooms and stuff.
Oh, really? So just overall leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Do you think these things can easily be transferable to the actual field or court, whatever?
Definitely. I think once you like are with your team and bonding with your team, you just everything runs smoother on the field or on the court.
All right, and this is the golfer in the group back there. Whatever, you can pass that back to him. Yeah.
My name's Brady Murray. I play basketball, baseball, and golf.
Another 3-sporter, okay.
Yeah. And I'm only a sophomore, so
wow.
It was a lot. I mean, last year I was a freshman on baseball. I learned a lot from the captains, and that helped. And there was a bunch of stuff today that helped out.
Do you do a lot more listening as a sophomore when you get all these upperclassmen around?
Yeah.
Very good. All right, well, Rockport, that was quick and easy. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Cape Ann League Summit here in Newburyport, the Student Athlete Summit live at Drew's house, our off-site edition here. This has been a fun day meeting all the student athletes from the Cape Ann League, and here are more of them. Triton in the house. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Kendall.
Full names.
Kendall
Keeps doing the
Liebert.
first names in the second half of this day.
I'm Kendall Liebert.
All right.
I'm Reese Renda. I'm Sophie Lazinski.
I'm Ben Norton. I'm Josh Hersey.
Excellent distributing. Very well done. All right, what are you taking out of this today?
So personally, I think that it was just kind of great to intermingle with the whole Cal and even with Essex Tech, the newest kind of recruit, I guess. And
with Essex Tech.
and I think it was honestly really good to kind of just like all like kind of correlate with what we all think represents like a team and leadership and just a community in general.
Okay. Same question. Yeah, jump in. What have you learned here today?
I've learned good sportsmanship, like that we shouldn't chirp people and stuff.
Are you a chirper?
No, but I'm just
okay.
saying, like, I've been chirped, and it's not good.
Yeah. It does not make you feel good.
I thought it was good to come together as a whole Cal because we know like individually to have like community as a team and as a school, but it was nice to see everyone together.
Good job battling through the ping pong in the background. Who's playing?
Like she said, it was nice to meet everyone, like new people.
How about surprises? Anything surprise you here? Maybe stuff you guys have been doing or that you didn't even think of?
Not really, no.
You're nodding your head. Was that a yes?
I just
Microphone. Oh, thank you. A question approval.
I was, you play against a lot of these guys. I know some of them just from games, and it's surprising to sort of talk to them in person for the first time because it's a different sort of.
You liked some people you didn't think you liked.
Yeah,
That's what you're trying to say.
In a different environment.
Said it one more time.
It's good to see people in a different environment.
I think everybody has pretty much said that today. Everything good at Triton so far this year?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Good. Any highlights? What's the highlight of the year so far? Anybody get a good story?
We see our goalkeeper for soccer saved
I'll
a
take her.
penalty kick.
Say it again, sorry.
Our goalkeeper for soccer saved a really good penalty kick, so that was a good moment for our team.
What's her name?
Emma Rollins.
Good job, Emma. Always good to name drop. All right, Triton Vikings. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, the Pentucket Panthers are in the house. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Good. All right. Microphone first. Name and what sport you're playing.
I'm Ava DeBarro, and I play soccer and basketball.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
All right, so you're a senior. You've had some experience with leadership and all that. You learn anything today?
Yeah, I think just learning how to address like a lot of common problems. Like when we did the situations activity, like those aren't made-up scenarios. Those happen. And
Was that like legit role playing and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of those scenarios? You tell me about that.
You were in my group.
I was in your group, yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
A lot of them were like if we had like in our group we had like an injured player on a basketball team, and like the opponent, like on the other team, they were like mocking the injured player, and like how like the AD would address that, and how like you're supposed to address that.
Does that happen? Have you guys seen that? Mocking of injuries? You got it, yeah?
At one of my football games, there was a kid on our team who went down with a calf cramp, and you could hear the whole student section yelling like, "Oh, get up, get off the field. He's not hurt."
Oh no!
So it's just kind of like one of those things that have to be addressed and should be fixed in an environment like that.
Well, thanks for jumping in with that. Give me your name though. And
my name's Luke.
Last name?
Zavasky. I'm a junior. I play football, basketball, and I run track.
Cool. How's the football team doing?
Good. We're 2-1.
Nice.
Yeah.
New field, right?
Yeah. New stadium. Very nice.
You guys all like that?
All turf. Yeah.
Beautiful. Michael, we'll go to you. Go for name and sport.
My name is Michael Inger. I'm a senior. I do indoor and outdoor track and field.
Okay, you're a captain?
Yes, I am.
Very good. What's you feel the pressure of being a captain?
I don't feel a lot of pressure to...
You did take a deep breath before you thought about that.
Yeah, so. It's a tough question. I don't feel a lot of pressure to be the best, but I do feel a lot of pressure to lead my team and to make everyone be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
Because that's my position. That's what I'm there to do.
All right, and we'll end with you, name.
I'm Kayla Murphy. I'm a junior, and I play softball. I run track, and I do field hockey.
All right. Are you a captain as a junior? Or?
Yeah, I'm a softball captain.
Okay. Wow, a junior captain. That's kind of uncommon still, right?
Yeah.
Were you ready?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it, but there were, like, other juniors are also captains with me. And, yeah, I mean, we were pretty ready for it, for the opportunity. Which was
You learn anything here today?
Yeah, just like learning how to be positive in like the sports environments and stuff.
Cool. All right, well, good. Anybody? What's the highlight of the year so far at Pentucket? Anybody get one good story?
Football team.
Football team's the highlight.
Very fun games. The first home game.
A lot of fun, exciting games.
The football team's getting it done. All right. Yeah. So they're not only good, but they're also exciting. Yeah. All right. Keep it up. Very good. Good to meet you all.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Welcome back to the Cape Ann League Student Athlete Summit here from Newburyport, and we end the day with some familiar faces because the Newburyport Clippers are in the house. Hello, everybody. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Let's start. Name?
Hi, my name is Peter Suzua. I'm a senior at Newburyport. And
cool. What do you play?
Oh, I play football and basketball.
Cool.
I'm Rita Kaling. I'm a senior, and I play field hockey and lacrosse.
Yeah, I know you. Here, you can take this mic.
Oh, okay. I'm Anna Lynch. I'm a senior, and I play soccer and tennis.
Okay.
I'm Duncan Coyer. I'm a senior, and I play soccer and lacrosse.
Hey, I'm Owen Cruz. I'm a senior, and I play hockey and lacrosse.
All right. Hockey's a good one. Let's start with you, actually. I know I'm mixing it up a little bit. I'm going to have, there you go. Somebody give them that one. So hockey can be kind of a rowdy environment, especially at Newburyport.
Yeah.
I bet some of these scenarios kind of stuck out to you. I'm picturing Newburyport Triton games with very loud crowds.
Yeah, there's some loud crowds there. I mean, there's not much I can do about it as playing, but yeah.
What about like if you go to like another game, though, another sport that you don't play, like you see some stuff, you guys learning some tools there on like, you know, we probably shouldn't be yelling that from the crowd. Or that
yeah,
sort of
I mean, it happens a lot sometimes during the football games. I mean, like I can get caught up in the moment and like say some stuff that are like against my morals and I probably shouldn't say, but
okay.
I learn I've caught myself over the years, and I think I'm better my senior year now and it's setting an example for others.
Oh, okay. Well said. What'd you take out of today?
Yeah, there's a lot things like he said, you get caught up in it, and maybe someone gets hurt and you don't realize for a second you're cheering for a play that your team made, and then you're like, oh geez, like that guy's really hurt, and you gotta catch yourself and kind of like take a step back, quiet down.
No, well said. I know you play tennis too, right?
I do.
That's kind of it's a sportsman. There can be issues with sportsmanship in tennis. Have you seen some of that over the years?
Yeah, so we don't have refs per se. Sometimes we do have umps once it comes to like
Oh, so you're saying you got to call your own lines. People forget about that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the honor system in tennis, and people just have to be really careful about like if it's on the line, that means it's in.
Yeah. Always. Any part of the line.
Yep.
Have you seen some stuff over the years with tennis?
Yeah, I've experienced it myself, and also like I'm not perfect either. I make mistakes. Everyone does, so.
Well said. What'd you take out of today?
For basketball, like when people on the free throw line, student section likes to chirp, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it's just part of the game at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a classy way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of I have seen stuff cross the line. Basketball too. It's like you're right on top of people in a lot of these courts. That can be hard playing environment, right?
Yeah.
It's the toughest place you ever played at.
Definitely North Reading.
North Reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hate to North Reading.
Always more satisfaction to go in there and win, though, right?
Yeah.
All right, and we didn't get to you yet. What'd you take out of today?
I feel like for like field hockey and lacrosse, there's not too many big crowds. But
that was kind of sad.
Well, no, like in the best way possible. Like there's like not like crazy environment, which is kind of nice. Sometimes when you're on the field, you just focus in. But honestly, like, sometimes there's times where like talk back to the ref, like, wow, I really shouldn't have said that, because they're trying to make the best call they can at the time, running up and down the field. Yep. But overall, it's like pretty good group of respectful people.
Do refs get enough credit in 2023?
I feel like they should get more, because even like I feel bad. I find myself being like, oh, what was that? But then again, there's just two people controlling everyone on the field, going up and down, so it's not their fault.
I've seen some of your I think basketball is one of the harder sports to officiate. I've seen some of your games. It can, it's not always perfect, but it is a hard job. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Any highlight from Newburyport sports this year? What's the? Give me one story. What's kind of the?
There's football game.
Everybody's going to football. Every time I ask that today.
Yeah.
Who you're going to take this one? All right.
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
So, me and
you guys
Duncan,
are the student section leaders?
Me and Duncan are the student section leaders.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like we've got so much like.
What does that mean? Is that a self-designated thing? What is that?
It's kind of a self-designated thing. We have an Instagram account where it like says all the themes for the games and when they are and stuff.
Oh.
So I mean, it's _section.
Like,
that's the account on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like we've gotten so much positivity from the first game. Like, people were saying how it's the best student section they've seen in like years and stuff.
Wow.
And like, it was all positive too. There was no like chirping at the other teams or anything like that. But
because it's the whole your morals are better now thing. What you said earlier, right? See that? It came full circle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, good job. You want? Yeah. Go ahead.
Big story this week: boys and girls soccer, the ALS Cup versus Pentucket. I'm sure you heard about it.
Yep.
Girls at 5, boys at 7. Looking to keep the cup for both teams, so should be a big night.
There you go. All right. Well, very, very good. Thank you, Newburyport. We appreciate it. And that wraps it up from the Cape Ann League Student Athletes Summit for 2023. A big thanks to Maya Gassman, who's doing all the hard work for me today and putting everything together before I even got here. I appreciate that very much. The boss, Sarah Hayden, thank you. And thank you to Kyle Hodson of Newburyport, who was, I guess, doing the emceeing and kind of putting this whole thing together too. So thank you, Kyle, and thanks for the pizza and everything too. That was very nice. Of course, right? We all appreciate that. Live at Drew's House, Job Afternoon Drive, special edition from the Cape Ann League Student Athletes Summit. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leadership is
pave the road so others can walk.
Win or lose, respect the
competitiveness of your opponents.
To be a good communicator, you have to be a better listener.
Character.
Character is the way you represent yourself on and off the field. How do you represent yourself?
Character is treating everyone with respect. Don't you want to be treated with respect?
Character is holding yourself and others accountable. How do you handle situations when nobody is looking?
Sportsmanship is
being respectful on and off the playing surface.
Supporting your team without bringing down the other team.
Focus on your own team instead of targeting the other team. Diversity is
we're all in this together.
Student athletes have worked hard throughout the year. Regardless of race, gender, sexuality, and religion, be supportive and open-minded.
Always be aware of your words and comments and commit yourself to being respectful at all times.